Today we're talking about Toyota and Lexus. 52 facts about the company that built the Corolla, saved itself with war trucks, made Lexus doors sound expensive, towed a space shuttle, and somehow turned boring reliability into world domination. Number 1. There is literally a city in Japan named Toyota City. It used to be called Corolla, but in 1959 the city changed its name to Toyota because the company had created so many jobs there. That is not just brand loyalty. That is a whole city looking at one company and saying, "You pay the bills now." Number 2. There are actual online groups dedicated to something called the Camry Dent, or the Camry Corner. For some reason, tons of Toyota Camrys seem to have the same kind of dent on the rear bumper corner. Nobody fully knows why it happens so often, but it has become a little internet culture of its own. Toyota made one of the most reliable cars ever, and people still found a way to identify it by damage. Number 3. The new Supra is not technically called just the Toyota Supra. Its full name is Toyota GR Supra. That GR part stands for Gazoo Racing, Toyota's performance division. So yes, when people scream BMW Supra in the comments, at least use the full legal name before starting the war. Number 4. A Toyota Corolla is sold on average about every 27 seconds. That is insane. By the time you finish watching a few YouTube ads, several people somewhere in the world may have bought a Corolla. It is not just a car. It is basically automotive background noise for planet Earth. Number 5. About 80% of Toyotas made in the past 20 years are still on the road today, according to the source. That is Toyota's real flex. Not drama. Not V12 noise. Not scissor doors. Just the terrifying ability to keep existing long after other cars have financially destroyed their owners. Number 6. When Lexus was developing the original LS, they hired a person to test every button and switch in the cabin. But it got even more specific. That tester carried fake nails to make sure the buttons worked properly for people with different nail lengths. Lexus was not just building a luxury car. They were making sure even someone with expensive nails could adjust the climate control like royalty. Before we continue, if you enjoy videos like this, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. These videos take a lot of time, research, editing, and money to make, and your support really helps us keep going. Thank you. Number 7. Toyota spends about $1 million on research every single hour, according to the source. Every hour. While you are sitting in traffic behind a beige Corolla, Toyota is apparently burning research money at supercar speed. That is why the company looks boring from the outside, but behind the scenes it operates like an engineering empire. Number 8. Toyota has invested in flying cars. The SkyDrive project has been taking orders for a fully electric flying vehicle that costs around $1.5 million and has about a 10-mile range. Which is hilarious, because Toyota built its reputation on cars that last forever, and now it is helping build something that sounds like it needs a warning label and a prayer. Number 9. Toyota was originally called Toyota, and it did not even start as a car company. It started in textiles. The founder's family made automatic looms before cars entered the picture. Toyota did not build its first car until 1935. So one of the biggest car companies in the world started with fabric machinery, then somehow ended up making Land Cruisers that refused to die. Number 10. The name Camry comes from a Japanese word connected to crown, and Corolla means little crown. That is strangely adorable. Toyota basically named its practical family cars like they were tiny royalty. A Corolla may not feel royal when it has cloth seats and hubcaps, but technically it has crown energy. Number 11. Toyota's annual revenue is bigger than Nissan, Honda, and Suzuki combined, according to the source. That is not a rivalry anymore. That is Toyota sitting at the family dinner, while the other Japanese brands argue over who gets the smaller chair. Number 12. Toyota gives a very fancy explanation for its logo: the heart of the customer, the heart of the company, and the world embracing Toyota. Beautiful, poetic, corporate. But the easier explanation is that the ovals also hide all the letters in the word Toyota. So the logo is either deep symbolism or a very clean letter puzzle. Number 13. Toyota still has a strong family connection. Akio Toyoda, a direct descendant of the founder Sakichi Toyota, became one of the most important modern figures in the company. That is rare today. Most giant automakers are run like faceless corporations. Toyota still has this family dynasty energy hiding under the spreadsheets. Number 14. Akio Toyoda personally test drove Gazoo racing road cars before production, and it was not just a cute PR moment. The guy can actually drive. He even races under the name Marizo, and Toyota made a track-focused GR Corolla Marizo edition connected to him. Imagine the boss testing your hot hatch and actually knowing what understeer feels like. Number 15. The FJ Cruiser has 3 windshield wipers. Not 1. Not 2. 3. The windshield shape is so awkward that Toyota needed an extra wiper to cover it properly. Most cars wipe the windshield normally. The FJ Cruiser looks like it is cleaning a window on a submarine. Number 16. The S in the Supra logo is shaped to resemble the famous S-turn at the Nürburgring. That is the kind of tiny detail most people will never notice, but car nerds will absolutely use to feel superior at 2 a.m. in a comment section. Number 17. There is a song called Toyota Truck by Young Kraka. It is not official, and from the lyrics, Toyota probably did not ask for it. But honestly, that makes it even funnier. Toyota trucks are so culturally durable that someone made music about them, even if Toyota's legal department probably pretended not to hear it. Number 18. That boring Toyota white color is not just called white. It is called French vanilla. That is incredible. Toyota took the most normal-looking fleet car color on Earth and gave it a dessert name. Somewhere out there, a plain white Camry is technically wearing flavor. Number 19. In 2012, a completely stock Toyota Tundra towed the Space Shuttle Endeavour through the streets of Los Angeles. The shuttle weighed around 68 tons, and the truck had just rolled out of the showroom. That is one of the best Toyota marketing moments ever. It is hard to argue with a truck when it casually pulls a spaceship. Number 20. Some Lexus models use an air conditioning system called Nano, designed to moisturize skin and hair while also deodorizing the cabin. That is peak Lexus. Other brands cool the air. Lexus tries to make sure your face leaves the car in better condition than when it entered. Number 21. The GR Supra is one of the fastest Toyota production cars, but the wildest Toyota was the GT1 road car. Toyota had to build a road-legal version for homologation, and only 2 were sold to the public. It had a top speed around 230 miles per hour. So yes, Toyota has made something much crazier than a Corolla. They just barely let anyone have it. Number 22. The Korean War helped save Toyota. In 1950, Toyota was close to bankruptcy and only produced a tiny number of trucks. Then the U.S. military ordered thousands of vehicles for the war, and that contract kept Toyota alive. Toyota's global empire partly survived because history gave it one massive emergency order. Number 23. The Toyota Corolla was the first car to introduce white reversing lights. That sounds boring until you realize how basic and useful that is. Every time a car backs up and the white lights tell you what is happening, a little piece of Corolla history is doing its job. Number 24. The Toyota Copen GR Sport is a tiny front-wheel drive convertible sports car sold in Japan. Lightweight, manual, fun, and of course, not really something most of the world gets properly. Toyota has this habit of making cool little cars, and then keeping them away from people who would actually obsess over them. Number 25. Lexus engineers worked with neuroscientists and acoustic specialists to make their doors close with the perfect sound. That is not normal luxury. That is psychological luxury. Lexus did not just ask, "Does the door close?" They asked, "Does the sound make rich people feel correct?" Number 26. The Toyota 2000 GT exists because Toyota wanted a serious grand tour like the Europeans had. They worked with Yamaha to help build it, and the result became one of the most beautiful Japanese cars ever made. Toyota looked at Europe's sports cars and said, "Fine, we can be elegant too." Number 27. Two Toyota 2000 GT convertibles were built for the James Bond movie You Only Live Twice because Sean Connery was too tall to fit comfortably in the coupe. Toyota basically had 2 weeks to chop the roof off and make it work for Bond. That is movie magic, Japanese efficiency, and tall actor problems all in one fact. Number 28. Bose once created a wild magnetic suspension system and tested it on a Lexus LS 400. The car could ride smoothly with almost no body roll, and the project looked genuinely futuristic. But Bose eventually scrapped it because the business side did not make sense. So one of the best suspension ideas ever got killed by math. Number 29. Before Toyota built its first car, Kiichiro Toyota traveled to America in 1929 to study how American automakers did things. He was especially inspired by Dodge and Chevrolet, then brought those lessons back to Japan. Toyota did not appear from nowhere. It watched America build cars, took notes, and then got terrifyingly good at it. Number 30. In 1997, car and driver tested the MK4 Supra and measured an incredible 70-0 braking distance of about 45 meters. That record stood until the Porsche Carrera GT arrived years later. People talk about the Supra's engine all the time, but the car could also stop like it had seen danger coming in advance. Number 31. Toyota became the first automaker to sell a hydrogen fuel cell vehicle commercially, the Mirai. Whether hydrogen cars become the future or not, Toyota committed early. While everyone else was arguing about batteries, Toyota was out there trying to sell cars that basically turned hydrogen into quiet optimism. Number 32. To prepare the Corolla for Canada, Toyota drove one across the country in the winter of 1967. That was not a cute little test drive. Canada is a place where cars find out if they are actually built properly. Toyota knew that if the Corolla could survive Canadian winter, it could probably survive almost anything normal owners would do. Number 33. A Toyota rolls off an assembly line roughly every 3 seconds, according to the source. That is not manufacturing. That is a mechanical heartbeat. Somewhere, right now, another Toyota is being born, probably already preparing to outlive its first owner. Number 34. The Toyota Hilux is famously almost unkillable. Top Gear tried drowning it, burning it, smashing it, and even putting it on top of a building that got demolished, and it still ran. The Hilux is not a truck. It is a cockroach with a bed and a diesel engine. Number 35. In 2016 alone, Toyota received over 1,500 U.S. patents and ranked near major tech companies. That is why Toyota should never be underestimated. They may sell cars that look like appliances, but behind the scenes they are constantly inventing, refining, and quietly stacking patents like a tech company in a cardigan. Number 36. Toyota has been the best-selling auto brand in Australia for decades, according to the source. That makes sense. Australia is huge, rough, hot, remote, and full of places where unreliable cars become expensive regrets. Toyota fits there because Australians need cars that do not turn every road trip into a survival documentary. Number 37. Australia got the Orient TRD, A rebadged Camry with a supercharged 3.5-liter V6 making around 320 horsepower. That is the kind of thing Toyota should have sold everywhere. A boring-looking sedan with unexpected power is always funny. Instead, some markets got much sadder Camry-related ideas. Number 38. The Japanese police were the first customer for what became the Land Cruiser back in 1951. They wanted an off-road patrol vehicle, but they specifically told Toyota to make sure it did not look too much like the Jeep. Toyota listened, built its own legend, and the Land Cruiser became one of the most trusted vehicles on Earth. Number 39. In 2013, Toyota became the first automaker to build over 10 million cars in a single year. 10 million. That is not a production milestone. That is industrial dominance. Toyota does not just make cars. Toyota manufactures traffic. Number 40. For the third-generation Corolla liftback, Toyota designed the luggage area to fit popular surfboards of the time. That is oddly cool. The Corolla is usually seen as the safest possible choice, but at one point Toyota was trying to make sure surfers could throw boards in the back and feel slightly rad. Number 41. In 1984, a Swiss couple bought a Land Cruiser and spent 35 years driving around the world. They traveled hundreds of thousands of miles and visited an unbelievable number of countries in the same vehicle. Some people buy cars for commuting. These people bought a Toyota and accidentally turned it into a passport with tires. Number 42. The United Nations is one of the biggest users of the Toyota Land Cruiser. That is a huge reputation flex. When organizations need vehicles for remote, dangerous, rough environments, they do not pick cars based on leather stitching. They pick what will actually get there and get back. Number 43. Lexus has built a 65-foot yacht called the LY650 in collaboration with Marquis Yachts. Because apparently making quiet luxury cars was not enough. Lexus wanted to ask, what if an LS became a boat? And somehow, that is exactly what it feels like. Number 44. The Hilux name stands for high luxury, which is hilarious because the Hilux is known more for surviving wars and abuse than giving people champagne lounge comfort. The name says luxury. The reputation says, drop it off a building and see what happens. Number 45. The 55 Series Land Cruiser was considered ugly enough to earn the nickname Iron Pig. That is brutal, but also kind of perfect. Some cars are beautiful. Some cars are useful. And some cars look like farm equipment that learned to be a family wagon. Number 46. Lexus has specialized paint inspectors who examine the finish before cars go to showrooms. These inspectors have to take exams multiple times a year to keep their skills sharp. Imagine your job being to stare at paint so intensely that luxury customers never see the microscopic thing you caught. Number 47. When you buy a GR86, Toyota offers a 1-year NASA membership. Not Space NASA, the National Auto Sport Association. So no, you will not drift on the moon. But you can get access to driving events, which is honestly more useful unless your GR86 has a rocket program nobody told us about. Number 48. The MK5 Supra being a BMW is the oldest joke in modern car culture, but it is not fully fair. BMW's designers said the Supra and Z4 design teams did not see each other's final work until both designs were done. Still, the Supra using BMW chimes does not exactly help the defense. The car is Toyota enough to fight about, and BMW enough to annoy everybody. Number 49. The Toyota Prius was the first car in the world with a beltless engine. That sounds like a tiny nerd fact, but it mattered because it reduced mechanical complexity. The Prius became famous for being the opposite of exciting, but under the hood, it had real engineering cleverness. Number 50. Lexus is somehow even more reliable than Toyota in some studies and owner experiences. That is almost unfair. Toyota already has the reputation for refusing to die, and Lexus basically adds leather, silence, and an even stronger sense that the car will outlive your financial mistakes. Number 51. The Toyota Previa looks like a boring old minivan, but it is secretly insane. It is mid-engine. It was available with a manual, and some versions were supercharged. That means one of the weirdest family vans ever had a layout more exotic than many sports cars. It looks like an egg. It thinks like a mad scientist. Number 52. The RAV4 has a system called S-Flow that uses a solar sensor to detect where the sun is hitting the cabin and redirects cool air to compensate. That is the kind of quiet Toyota cleverness people overlook. It is not dramatic. It does not make noise. It just notices the sun is annoying you and tries to fix it.